Hi, welcome back to my channel, Organized with Joy, and welcome to another Thoughtful Thursday video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about how important it is to recognize that you cannot control other people's behavior. This is such a hard thing to learn, especially for somebody who is a control freak. I know that I am a control freak, and it took me a really long time to truly embrace this idea that I can't control people. I know it can be really hard to let go of expectations of people in your life. It's particularly difficult with, people who are close to you, your children, your spouse, your siblings, and your friends. It can be really hard to let go of your expectations of them and allow them to be themselves and to not try to control their behavior, because oftentimes when we try to control their behavior, we control them through ways that are just not healthy. Typically, this can look like emotional manipulation or trying to guilt people into doing what you want them to do, or guilt them into feeling bad about what they're not doing. And all of this really doesn't work, and it is kind of unhealthy ways of trying to get people to change. Instead, I have learned to really embrace who those people are who are close to you, who they are as people, allow them to be themselves. And that's not to say that you don't try to encourage them to better themselves, but to allow them to be themselves. I wanted to share an example with you of this. When my daughter was in middle school, I wanted her to try to get involved in certain activities or dress a certain way, and she just had her own unique style and her own unique personality. And I had an amazing mentor, I guess, and friend whose daughter was older than Cora, and she saw Cora. She was a friend in my life, and so she spent time with her, and she just helped me to see how amazing Cora was in and of herself, and how I had these expectations that I wanted her to be this certain way, but she helped me to see how amazing she was as she was. And that was really a life-changing moment for me, to recognize that we're all unique individuals, and whether that is your kids or your spouse or your friends or whoever it might be, we need to just allow them to be who they are. I also wanted to address, if you have people in your life, more so adults, so like spouses or friends or family members who maybe have negative behaviors that impact you, and obviously you can try to help them see that and help them to make changes in their life, but ultimately you aren't responsible for their behavior if they're adults. Obviously, if you have children that have behavioral issues, you do have to address that with discipline. But if you have adults in your life who have whatever negative habits that affect you, you can't necessarily force them to change. And so what I have learned to do myself is to just focus on myself and focus on bettering myself and making sure I'm making good choices every day. And I don't have to be responsible for these other people. I'm only responsible for myself and my choices. Obviously, I'm not talking about abusive relationships. If you do have someone in your life that is abusive, obviously you should get help and get out of that relationship. So I'm talking more so just about bad habits or things that impact you. But the main point I want to make today is really focusing on yourself, focusing on inwardly your thoughts and attitudes towards other people. I think just having a mindset of, not allowing negativity to affect you. While it's difficult, it's definitely something that has been life-changing for me. If someone has a bad attitude, it doesn't have to affect me. Or if someone treats me poorly, whether that's just somebody, cut me off in traffic, or, something more personal between me and a family member, I don't have to let those incidents affect my entire day or my entire week. I can move on and just have a positive attitude regardless of those situations. Ultimately, you are in control of your responses and your reactions to other people. And so you don't have to become upset or frustrated when someone else is upset or frustrated with you. We can't control what people say about us, and we can't control how they treat us, but we can control our reaction or our response to what they say about us or how they treat us. I truly try to respond always in kindness, regardless of how somebody is treating me or what they're saying about me. Obviously, I can't always do that. I am human and my feelings get hurt and I do get upset, but I try to reshift my focus and recognize that it's okay if people mistreat me. It's okay if people say bad things about me. All I can do is focus on myself and my response or reaction to that. And if I treat them with kindness and love, then that's all I can do. I maybe can't change what they think about me or how they treat me, but I can have a good attitude and treat them with kindness and love in response. Like I mentioned, you are in control of your responses and your reactions to the way people treat you or what they say to you. And by getting upset and staying there and being in that place of being hurt or upset or irritated by the way people treat you or what they say to you, it gives so much power to that person. And I think it's better to, just like I said, you shift your perspective and you choose to just move on from there, just have a positive attitude anyway, and do your best to treat those people with kindness and love regardless of how you're being treated. I did want to talk about how there is definitely a fine line between not allowing somebody's actions or what they're speaking to you affect you, and the abusive sort of relationship or situation, because obviously you don't want to just let people walk all over you and say whatever they want and do whatever they want and just keep treating them with kindness and love. I mean, yes, keep treating them with kindness and love, but also setting boundaries in your life and making sure that they're not able to have that effect, especially like I mentioned, if it's abusive, then you certainly need to address that issue in and of itself. Well, as always, I love to hear from you down in the comments, so please let me know your thoughts on what I've shared today. If you're new to my channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.